Hey you, welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, I mostly do videos on guitars related stuff and music. So I do a lot of guitar covers, guitar lessons, gear demo, gear reviews, and things like that. So if you enjoyed this video all the way up to the end, consider thumbing this video up and subscribing. It would help me out and I would greatly appreciate it. Alright, so what are we doing today? Today we'll be replacing the bridge on this guitar, how to install it and how to get it set up and running. Alright, so let's get that new bridge installed. You're going to need a couple things to get this new bridge in. You're going to need a screwdriver, a tuning winder, and a new set of strings. And if you have those three things, you are set to go. Alright, so first thing I need to do is loosening all of the strings. Alright, now that the strings are off, let's start loosening the screws in the back. Now, as you start turning it, make sure you count how many turns you do on both of the screws. That way when you have the new bridge put on, you can kind of go back to where you were and use that as a starting point. Alright, so now that you have the springs loosened up, what we're going to do is get the springs out. My original plan on fixing the spring noises was to throw in a rubber tubing on the inside of the spring. I think all I'm going to do is add a heat shrink wrap to the springs, and hopefully that should be enough to minimize as much vibrations and spring noises in the guitar. Alright, so I'm going to go with a little bit of a bigger size. Alright, so there we go. That end is all good. We shrink this end down just a bit as well. Want to be just snug enough for you to be able to kind of move it up and down and be able to use tremolo if you want. Alright, that's good. And then last one. Alright, that's perfect. Cool. Alright. And that is how you can minimize your spring noises. Oh yeah, definitely going to have to replace the screws. So, I'm going to take these out, then put the new ones in. Now they recommend you waxing the screw before you screw it in, but I don't have anything like that lying around, so I'm just going to go ahead and just screw it straight in. Okay, then the next one. Alright, so pull these out. That'll make it a little bit easier to attach the bridge to the back springs. Alright, so hold that in place. There we go. Alright, so get the springs into the bridge. There we go. Alright. We'll start screwing these in. Okay. I was a little bit off on my post spacing measurements because according to the bridge, post on this end should be a little bit closer to the center than how it is on the other bridge that I was using. But what I think what had happened was I probably accidentally measured from the inner posting somehow and thought that the post spacing for this bridge were what I needed. But right now I don't think it really matters all that much because the bridge is holding in just fine and I don't think it's going to have any issues. Alright, so now let's put in the new strings. Alright, so let's get this bad boy tuned up. Alright, so it looks like I will need to loosen the springs in the back. And the reason why that is because the bridge is not where it's supposed to be. And right now it is kind of resting against the body of the guitar. And if that's what your bridge is doing, what you need to do is loosen the springs in the back if your bridge is resting against the body after you've tuned up to standard. But if it's leaning upward and away from the body, you would have to tighten the springs a little bit more to kind of pull the bridge back into the position it needs to be. Okay. Alright, so tune up again. So far it looks like it's holding its tune pretty well, but the thing is, the bridge keeps pulling back. So what I'm going to do now is loosen the screws just a little bit by a couple turns. I'm going to do a couple turns each. 1, 2, 1, and 2. Alright, and then tune again and see if that get rid of it. Okay. So it looks like it is still wanting to rest against the body. So what I'm going to do now is again loosen the screws in the back just a bit to kind of ease up the tension on the back and allow the string to have a little bit more tension to pull the bridge back towards the neck. Alright, now I am pretty happy with the level that the bridge is away from the body, and the gap is almost completely even between the body and the bridge. Alright, now let's get your bridge to be intonated properly. Alright, so what you're going to need for this one is a tuner. You're going to need a Allen wrench to be able to loosen the saddle on your bridge, or some bridges even allow you to move the saddle up and down just through the screws on the side. So either way would work fine, but on my particular bridge I will have to loosen the bolt that is holding the saddle in place, and then I will have to either move it up or down on the bridge. If you have a tuner out, hit the open E and then hold down the 12th fret and see if the E on the 12th fret is higher or lower than the open E. Right, so if the pitch of E is higher on the 12th fret, then what you will need to do is move the saddle back. If it's too flat, you will have to move it forward. Think of it as like if you touch a sharp knife, your first instinct is to back away, right? So that is kind of how I think about the notes on the 12th fret and getting it to be intonated properly on the bridge. So if the E on the 12th fret is sharper than the open E, then you will need to move the bridge back. Alright, so oh yeah, so it's really sharp in mine. So now what I'm going to do, loosen the string just a little bit, and then grab the Allen wrench that I need to loosen this. Alright, and then now we need to loosen this just a little bit more. Now what I need to do is pull the saddle back, then tighten the bolt down on the saddle so the bolt will hold the saddle in place. Alright, so turn this back up. Alright, now the B string is pretty spot on. But on a high E, I am going to have to move the saddle back as well. Alright, so time to get this bad boy loosened up. Push it back just slightly. There we go. Alright, now the fun part, winding up the high E. There's a little bit there, come on. Don't pop. Alright. And the light is out. I'm gonna have to move the saddle back just a little bit more. There we go. And right there would be perfect. Alright. Do a little bit of a test run. Okay, so yeah, definitely will need to do a little bit of adjustment. So yeah, definitely, well, yeah, for sure. Turn that up just a little bit. It looks like I will need to adjust this thing a little bit more. but I won't do that off camera. Well, I'm going to be leaving the video right there. I hope this video helped you guys out, and if it did, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, and also subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys in the next video.